Salespeople, I have some serious questions for you. Have you ever had a manager breathing down your neck? Have you been put on a performance improvement plan? Or been flat out fired? I have. More than once. But here's what else that has happened to me. I've won Salesperson of the Year. I've sold $3 million in a single year, and I've had a company restructure their entire bonus system just to keep me happy. The difference between the salesperson who gets fired and the one who gets the rules rewritten for them, it's not talent. It's not a magic line. It's a system. And that system is what's going to help you evolve and become great. Welcome to Evolve Your Sales Game, the podcast where we ditch the one-liners and build real skills that close real sales. I'm your host, Spiros Nicolau, and I went from getting fired in sales to winning Salesperson of the Year and generating $3 million in a single year. Everything I learned is in my ebook, Evolve Your Sales Game, Mastering the Art of Selling. It's available now on Amazon Kindle. Let's get into it. If you're still here with me after that intro, you already know who this show is for. Let's get into the story behind it. Let me take you back to where this all started for me. When I was younger, I had a completely different vision for my life. I wanted to be the best bodybuilder, the best personal trainer in the world. I wanted to build a system of exercise backed by science, open world-class gyms, develop supplements, and create a culture of fitness. I was all in. And I believed, genuinely believed, that if I built all of it to the best standards possible, people would just come. You know that famous line from Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. I believed that completely. And then life happened. A series of injuries and financial setbacks meant I could no longer pursue a career in personal training the way I had planned. That dream, the one I had mapped out in my head since I was young, was no longer practical. Now I want to pause here for a second, because I know I'm not alone in that experience. Life has a way of redirecting us, sometimes gently, sometimes with a wrecking ball. And if that's happened to you, if you ended up in sales, not because it was your first choice, but because life took a turn, I want you to know that's where some of the best salespeople come from. Because we had to figure it out. We didn't have the luxury of coasting. So there I was, no fitness career, no backup plan, and the only job I could get was in sales. And let me tell you something. I was terrible. I was embarrassingly bad. Sales was not something I was naturally good at. It was not something I was passionate about. I didn't have some magic gift for it. I was awkward. I over-explained everything. I had no system. I just talked at people and hoped something stuck. Now, I told you at the top, I got fired more than once. What I didn't tell you was that what was going through my head each time it happened, and why I didn't walk away from sales entirely. Most people would have quit, and I'll be honest with you, part of me wanted to. My family wanted me to, but something shifted for me, and it started with one realization. Sales is the industry that makes the world turn. I mean that literally. Without salespeople, skilled salespeople, even the best products in the world would die on the shelf. Businesses wouldn't be able to grow. Problems don't get solved. People don't get the solutions that they need. And I thought, if I'm going to survive and thrive in this world, I need to stop fighting this and start mastering the art of sales. So that's what I did. Now here's where I want to talk to you about something that drove me crazy throughout the entire learning process. And honestly, it still drives me crazy today. I spent years working for different companies, reading sales books, going through training programs, watching social media gurus post their revolutionary new closing lines every other week. And I kept noticing the same thing. Nothing was fundamentally changing. The industry is obsessed, and I do mean obsessed, with objection handling. With one-liners, with comebacks. Every few months, someone comes out with a new line to instantly overcome, I need to think about it. And everybody goes crazy for it. Because it sounds like a magic pill. Here's the truth about magic pills. They work a fraction of the time. And the rest of the time, they are subject to the law of averages. And it leaves you standing there wondering why that line that got 100,000 likes on Instagram just got me hung up on. Albert Einstein, and I know this gets quoted a lot, but I want you to hear me out. Einstein defined insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Being on the hamster wheel. But that is sales in the nutshell. The same techniques, the same scripts, the same objections handling. It's just the same thing taught 25 to 30 years ago. All it is just repackaged with better graphics and a ring light. Here's what nobody is addressing. And I mean almost nobody. It's the deeper skill set. The system underneath the ability to move a customer from I'm somewhat interested in this to I need this and I need it now. That transformation, that's the art of selling. And that's what this show is about. So let me tell you exactly what Evolve Your Sales Game, this podcast actually is. It's not a collection of one-liners. It's not a list of objection comebacks. It's not a highlight reel of my best closes. What it is, it's a system built over nearly 2 decades of lived experience. Trial and error, getting fired, getting back up, figuring out what actually works. Not just occasionally, but consistently, year over year. I have improved my own sales results by 15 to 30% every single year. Not because I found a new magic line, because I kept sharpening a system. It's built on real skills, and that system is what I'm going to share with you on this show, one episode at a time. Every episode is short and focused. One concept, one story, one action step you can use the same day you listen. I'm not here to overwhelm you. I'm here to help you evolve, one skill at a time. Now, everything you're going to hear on this show comes directly from my ebook, Evolve Your Sales Game, which is available right now on Amazon Kindle. I wrote this book in 2025 with very specific goals. I wanted to put into writing the exact system I used to go from getting fired to winning Salesperson of the Year to generating $3 million in sales in a single year. And I wanted it to be short and effective. Like I was sitting across from you, personally mentoring you the same way I've mentored new sales reps throughout my career. Now, if you want to go deeper than what we cover here in this podcast, the book is there for you. I'll drop the link in the show notes on every episode. Before I wrap up this first episode, I want to share something with you that I wrote in the preface of the book because it captures exactly why I'm doing this. When I set out to build Evolve Your Sales Game, the ebook, this podcast, and everything, I had 4 very specific hopes for who it would reach. First, 1,000 people who would improve their sales by 20 to 30% in a single year. Second, 100 people who become top salesperson in their organization. Third, 100 small businesses who go from struggling to successful. And fourth, 100 people who go from being ordinary salesperson to running their own sales organization. If any of those describes where you want to go, you are exactly who I built this for. And I want you to hear me when I say this. I wasn't a natural. I didn't have some gift. I figured this out the hard way, through getting fired, through failure, through years of trial and error. Which means the system I'm going to share with you on this show is not theory. It's not something I read in a book somewhere. It's lived experience, and it works. Now here's what's coming up on Evolve Your Sales Game. In the next few episodes, we're going to build the foundation, the mindset shifts that need to happen before any technique will ever work for you. We're going to talk about why the image of a salesperson is holding you back, why sales is actually the greatest career path for financial freedom, and why you, as a salesperson, are more valuable than most companies ever want you to realize. After that, we're going into the DISC series. 4 episodes, 1 for each personality type: dominant, influential, steady, and conscientious. And by the end of that series, you'll be able to read any customer in 60 seconds and know exactly how to tailor your entire approach to them. No more one-size-fits-all pitches. Then we get into the 3 pillars, the core of my entire system. This is the framework that took me from mediocre to award-winning. And then the advanced toolkits, questions, personal stories, how to prevent objections before they even come up, and closing without pressure and building a business on referrals. This is a full season, and it's designed so that by the time you finish it, you are fundamentally a different salesperson than you are today. All right. Every episode ends with 1 action step, something you can do today. Not this week. Today. Here's yours for episode 1. Write down the last objection a customer gave you. It could be, I need to think about it. It could be, it's too expensive. It could be, let me talk to my spouse. Whatever it is, write it down and hold on to it. Because by episode 15 of this show, you're going to know exactly why that objection happened. And more importantly, you're going to know how to restructure your process so it almost never happens again. That piece of paper is going to mean something by the time we're done. And that's a wrap on today's episode. If this helped you, share it with one person on your team. That's how we grow this community. My ebook, Evolve Your Sales Game, is on Amazon Kindle right now. Search Spiros Nicolau or grab the link in the show notes. Follow the show on Instagram at Evolve Your Sales Game for the visual content that goes with some episodes. And remember, you've got this.